Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started.
All right, my beautiful people. Well, welcome to the Season of Self-Love. This is Transformative Tuesday, and I am your host, Nyomi Banks. And today we are continuing our journey through March theme of letting go, releasing limited beliefs. So, sometimes the universe, it has to repeat itself before it truly hear the message, right? Until you could truly hear the message. And this is exactly what I experienced this past weekend. There was a powerful reminder about clearing space to receive our next journey. So last week I shared with you about my ongoing struggle with vertigo, right? And how it has flared up again, leaving me with just a few good hours each day, while the rest is filled with spinning, headaches, and fatigue. Well, I talked about how this physical imbalance, that it might be reflecting a deeper imbalance in life, right? Perhaps connecting to a limited beliefs that I'm still holding on to. Well, family, I want to share something that's very beautiful that happened this weekend. On Friday, I was listening to Bob Proctor's audiobook, Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, a book that I first found during my first initial vertigo diagnosed back in October, right? So I was revisiting, well, actually, I had started a new challenge again. I started back the 30-day challenge where I was going to listen to Bob Proctor's book, especially after my vertigo had been triggered again. So I said, actually, there must be a message for me. There must be a message in here that I am supposed to listen to, that I'm supposed to be hearing in my body, and I'm just not paying attention, right? So I believe I started listening on Wednesday. So on the part that I was listening to on Friday, when I came to this part, it talks about preparing for new things in your life by clearing your space to be ready to receive. Now, mind you, I've heard this message before, probably over 100 times. We even explored it during our November series last year, where we had our 10-day book challenge. So even though I spent the last 30 days, now look, I spent the last 30 days of my 2024 cleaning from the inside out, my closet, my home, everything. So of course, I'm like, okay, what is happening? What is going on with me? But here's where it get interesting. Less than an hour later, after listening to that section of it, I got a notification on my Instagram from one of our loyal SOS lovers, who has sent me a video of Bob Proctor saying the exact same thing that I had just been listening to. The exact same thing. Well, he had put a little more in detail in the video, but it was actually the exact same things. So I'm asking myself, is this divine timing? Divine timing? Synchronicity? This is how I started off this year, right? This is how we started off the year of the rebirth in 2025, with nothing but divine timing and synchronicity. So when the universe has tapped me once again on my shoulder, twice in 1 hour with the same message, then it's probably time for me to pay attention. But before we dive into this topic, let's take a quick break, all right? It's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks, here on this Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest?
It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
Hey, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. We're bridging the gap between them all, and we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG group. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to xnaomi.com and tell them Naomi sent you. All right, my beautiful people. So before we dive deeper into this message of clearing space, let's ground ourselves, all right, with the meditation that it helps us to identify what we might need to release and to create a room of what's next, all right? So if you all can just right now take a deep breath in through your nose and releasing slowly through your mouth. I want you to feel your body settling into this moment. Now I want you to place one hand on your heart, connecting to your essence, the truth of who you are beyond all of the things that you've collected, both physically and mentally. Now imagine standing in a room that represents your inner world. Now look around at all of the things that you've gathered over the years. The beliefs about who you are, the beliefs about what you are capable of, and the beliefs about what you deserve. Some of these beliefs serves you beautifully. They're like comfortable furniture that supports your growth and joy. But others are like clothes that no longer fit. Items that once had purpose but now just take up space. Now gently, with compassion for yourself, I want you to begin to identify one belief that feels like it no longer serves you. Maybe it's, I have to do everything perfectly. Or I'm not ready yet. Or who am I to want more? But as you identify these beliefs, I want you to imagine holding it in your hands and thank it for how it once protected you or how it once seemed necessary. And then with gratitude, I want you to place it in an imaginary box labeled no longer needed, no longer needed. Now feel the spaciousness that open up when you release this belief. Feel the lightness, the possibility. The room you now have to receive something new. Now take one more deep breath in, drawing in clarity and openness. And as you release it, I want you to affirm silently. I clear space to receive what's next on my journey. All right, my beautiful people, when you are ready, please open your eyes. And if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, it's something we do every day, Monday through Friday here. Again, just to ground us before we get into the topic at hand. So today's topic is much needed. It came to me like it just slapped me in the back of my head, tapped me on my shoulder. Well, this weekend was such a beautiful reminder that letting go isn't just about mental and emotional process. It's also physical. The inner and outer worlds mirror each other, right? And sometimes that's the most profound spiritual work. And it begins with something as simple as cleaning out your closet. So I went back to my closet and I took a really honest look at my closet. And you know what I found? I was holding on to clothes as I was saying to myself, oh, I'm going to fit in that again someday. After I lose this 15, 20, 30 pounds, I'm going to be able to fit back into that dress or into those leggings or into the swimsuit. But here's the twist. Many of those clothes, those clothings, those dresses, those shoes, they don't even match my style anymore. But also, I don't even go to the same places where I used to wear those clothes. And that's when it hit me. This isn't just about the clothes. This is about the limited beliefs that's hiding in plain sight. You see, those clothes are just a representative of old version of me. The old stories, the old limitations that I was subconsciously keeping around just in case. Just in case. It was something that Bob Proctor has said in the video that was sent to me, that he was saying about a lot of people have excuses on why they won't, throw away or give away old clothing or old things, because I don't have the money to purchase anymore. But if you remove all of those things, you will make room for that. And that hit, because I have a lot of shit. I have a lot of things. And even when I think of it from the aspect of business wise, I have a lot of things with there. I have several different business, some that I just have on hold that's sitting in the corner, and some I'm deciding if I'm going to revamp it or bring it back, or if it's still aligned with me. Period. I have a big storage full of stuff, as well as half of my garage that I'm also building me a gym in, but also half of my garage. And I remember talking to my baby, like, I need to get rid of some of this. What is all of this stuff for? And that's when that message just kept hitting me, like, you have to make room. You have to make room for the newness. You have to get rid of that stuff that you can't, first of all, you can't fit it. Where you gonna wear that stuff to? You don't go to any of those places where you were wearing them before. You don't go to no clubs. And if you are going to an outing, them clothes you won't be wearing. And even when you lose weight and work out, you're still not going to be able to fit in those clothes, because now you got hip and ass. Excuse my language. So what are you really holding on to? And I had to think about that this weekend. Like, really, what am I holding on to? Why do I have that dress? Why do I have that piece? Why do I have that? What is the connection with it? So yesterday on Mindset Monday, Dr. Will, he talked about fear and how we often stay in spaces of comfort because stepping into the unknown feels scary. Excuse me. And I remember saying yesterday about being still amongst the chaos. And I remember, Dr. Will, piggyback right on it. And sometimes he's saying being still enough to honestly look at what we holding on to. That's one of the bravest things that we can do. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about what you might be holding on to physically, emotionally, and mentally. When I was talking to myself in my closet, looking around, I was like, wow, what am I holding on to? Because remember, first, the clothes, they don't fit. Or they don't even reflect who I am now. Or is it a relationship that's draining you rather than to nourish you? Like old friendships. Or even loved ones. Is it more draining to you than it is nourishing for you? Or are it goals? Are they the goals that was never really yours to begin with? Maybe these goals were, to seek validation from something or someone. Or maybe it was someone else's goals that was put upon you. And what about those stories? Are you holding on to those stories about what you're capable of that limit your potential? And what about those habits? Are you holding on to those habits that once served you, but now they hold you back? When I interview my guest for tomorrow, Devin Gonzalez, for our upcoming Wisdom Wednesday episode, he has shared something powerful about limiting beliefs. He said that they often come from the outside sources, from our parents, our friends, and society. But eventually we internalize them so deeply that we forget that they were never ours to begin with. You see, the same could be said about some of the things we keep in our physical spaces, right? We hold on to them because someone else told us that we should, or because society says that it's what success looks like, or because we're afraid of who we might be without them. But what if letting go is of both physical items and limited beliefs? It's actually the path to discovering who we truly are. And what if clearing space is the most radical act of self-love that we can practice? Just what if? And I just thought about something in one moment. What if me cleaning out my closet and taking damn near everything out and starting back from one? What would that look like for me? Starting back from one. What does that look like for me? What does that look like for you? So today, I want to share 3 practical ways that we can clear space, both physically and mentally, to receive what's next on our journey. All right, so the first is what I want to call the style test. And this works for both your closet and for your beliefs. And for each item or beliefs, I want you to ask yourself, does this still reflect who I am now? Not who I was, not who I think I should be, but who I am in this moment. I shared this story with my husband a few weeks ago, and I was telling him about how back in the day when I was in high school and I was in grade school, I didn't have the hippest clothes, a lot of the clothes that I either got hand-me-down or I went to the thrift store, got it from there. And I remember thrift store used to smell like moth, and I used to get sick all the time. So I used to bring clothes home and I used to wash them real good and try to style it up my own self, with things. But I remember praying and hoping that my mother and my father was going to hit rich one day, that I was going to be able to go get, some brand new clothes, whether it was from, we had Zara's back then, Inventures. I don't know if y'all remember that. I'm putting my age out there, but we had that before there was a Walmart, and then it was Kmart. So even going there or going to the mall, and getting me some new clothes, because, every school year, everybody would get them some brand new clothes. My brand new clothes is I went to Amvets, which was a thrift store back in Illinois, in Chicago. And I just remember, like, I used to have during the summer, I used to make me a style book that I used to pull stuff out of the magazines, like Right On and stuff like that, and put those little pieces together and say, okay, this is going to be my style for the year. But I could never do that. And I know that's what transfer over to now, is that now, as I'm an adult, I'm able to get whatever I want. I'm able to purchase whatever that I want. And by that mindset, they're thinking, and now I'm thinking, that was so, that's why I'm so limited now. Like, I hold on to everything because it's like, okay, I remember when I didn't have. I remember when I didn't have this. But what I need to understand is that Just as I got it the first time, I can get it again. I can get it again. I know how to get it again. I don't have to go that same route. But then when I think about it, I know several different routes on how to get it. Even now. Not even from the old stuff, but from the new stuff that I've accomplished, or better yet, that I've learned. So now when I look at them Guess dresses, a couple of them Gucci dresses, that I gotta let them go because I can't fit them no more. And actually, honestly, I never thought about being in or out of style. I never thought about that. I just always want to look good in my clothes. That's one of the reasons why I started making my own clothes as well. I would take different pieces and create my own little style and just rock it from there. But these clothes that I have in my closet right now, I can't fit none of those clothes. And even though I sit and say, okay, I'm going to lose another 15, 20, 30 pounds, 40, 50 pounds to fit in that, I don't even go to the places to even wear outfits like that anymore. And I said, oh, well, I can wear them when I'm doing the season of self-love, or when I'm doing Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. I can use it for those, or when I'm taking pictures and what I'm doing for those. And it's like, and I'm going to be real. I feel so uncomfortable putting those clothes on now because it doesn't fit right with my outer beauty. It doesn't seek into my spirit like that. And I'm not saying that I have to be, clothes all the way down with, covered from head to toe. No, I just know those clothes that I have now. So it should be easy for me to get rid of it, right? Well, we definitely going to find out. We're definitely going to find out. Because, again, for me, holding on to those clothes that I was holding on to, they belonged in different chapters of my life, right? Just like some of the limited beliefs that I carried about what success looks like and how much I need to produce to be valuable. So they don't match who I am now, the purpose that I'm walking into today. And I know a lot of people, well, what that look like, Naomi? That is where I need to clear it all out so I can allow that vision to come in. Does that make sense? All right, the second practice is the joy check. And this was inspired by a famous question by Marie Kondo. And it said, does it spark joy? Does it spark joy? But I want you to take it a little deeper. For each item or belief, I want you to ask yourself, does this create spaciousness in my life, or does it constrict me? Does this create spaciousness in my life, or does it constrict me? And I want you to think about it. You see, some beliefs, they feel very heavy, like they're squeezing the light out of us, right? Like I have to be perfect, or I can't rest until everything is done, or I must keep up with everyone else. You see, these beliefs, they constrict us rather than create space. And the same goes for physical items that carry emotional weight or obligation. Like, I've created some amazing pieces for my IS by Nyomi Banks, a part of my intimate collection. And I have them in a bag. And I remember it's like, I need to like let those go. My husband like, why are you gonna let them go? That's, and I'm like, would I go back to designing? Maybe, but that's not where I'm at right now. That's not where in my life right now. Oh, I think about a Kiss Cosmetics, and I'm actually really working on something. So I'm gonna keep that. I'm really working on something with that. But then, I have a storage full of material, amazing material. And I said before I was gonna make me some dresses, and I was gonna do this, do that. I haven't even made time to do that. But then I think about bring me joy. Yeah, they do. They bring me joy. So that was going to be a tricky one for me. That's going to be a tricky one for me because it does bring me joy. And honestly, everything that I'm holding on to, they do bring me joy. They do. They really do. But that is still me just holding on to something because I think I won't be able to get it again. And that's just the honest, that's the honest thing. And I can be honest with that today. All right, in the third practice, I want you to call future vision. I want you to ask yourself, is this item or belief supporting the future that I'm creating? Or is it keeping me tethered to the past? So those beautiful, amazing pieces that I made, are those supporting my future that I'm creating? Or is it keeping me tethered in my past? That's a good question. For me, I realized keeping my clothes for a version of myself and a lifestyle that I evolved beyond. I really have. It's just like I was holding on to limited beliefs about my worth being tied to constant productivity. Y'all remember that conversation that Dr. Will and I had a few weeks ago? In the beliefs that don't support the more balanced present life that I'm creating. So this weekend, I decided to take some action. I'm not just talking about clearing space, I'm doing it. I started cleaning out my closet again, and this time with deeper honesty. And I'm recording the process for my new series on my YouTube channel of Nyomi's World. And you know what? As I've been releasing these physical items, I've felt mental and emotional space opening up too. It's like each piece of the clothing that I let go of, it carries with it a limited belief of the story that no longer serves me. And as I sit here right now, I can't wait to finish recording and finishing my closet to share that whole closet journey with you all, because it's a very emotional episode for that series. Yeah, it is. Yeah. When I think about some of the pieces that are left there, and that I will be giving away, and I would definitely be going to my altar right after this to really seek guidance, because something is telling me that I'm supposed to start back at 1. So, my beautiful people, I believe that the wisdom in this synchronicity that I've experienced this weekend, when the universe sent that same message twice in 1 hour, that it's not a coincidence, but it is definitely confirmation. Bob Proctor, he challenged us to clear your closet of things that you don't wear or use anymore. But that isn't just about tidying up. It's about a profound metaphor of inner work of releasing limited beliefs. You see, the clothes that no longer fit or reflect your styles are like the beliefs that no longer serve your growth and your evolution. In this practice of clearing space, it connects beautifully for what we discussed last week about finding balance. Remember, my vertigo has been teaching me that when we holding on to too much, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally, we literally lose our equilibrium. We start spinning, unable to find a solid ground. So I want to share this with you all. Earlier today, I had an amazing session with an intuitive medical coach, and I had interviewed her for a show of about a month ago. And she gave me some interesting feedback for my vertigo, for my migraines, for everything. And there are some things that I need to definitely let go, because as was said to me, is that my head is full. My brain is full from years of stress, from years of experience, just times and times of my life there. I've hold them all in my brain, in my head, in my thoughts and emotions. And I'm like, that's everybody. Yeah. But for me, it's attacking my body. And so there's things that I need to let go, whether it's a lifestyle, whether it's food, whether it's, stressful people, whether it's situations. But these are things that I need to let go, to remove some of those things that are no longer aligned with who I am. For example, things that happen with you as a little girl or a little boy, or in your teenage life or whatever. It's time to go and heal that, change that moment, heal that moment. And that's like, how can I do that? You can go back and say, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for that. And now I want to be healed. I want to have a better life. And I hope y'all understand. I'm gonna have to get deeper in this on another episode. But yeah. So here's some Transfer Tuesday. Here goes some assignments that I would love for you guys to try if you want to. Physical clearing. I want you to choose one drawer. If you don't feel like you want to do it all at one time, let's start off like this. Physically clearing. Choose one drawer, one shelf, in one corner of your home that feels cluttered or stagnant. And I want you to apply those 3 tests that we talked about: the style test, the joy check, and the future vision. And I want you to release 3 items that no longer serves you. And then next, do a mental clearing. I want you to identify one limited belief that's been taking up space in your mind. I want you to write it down. And I want you to thank it for how it has once served you. And then I want you to write a new, more spacious belief to replace it. And then I want you to do a daily practice. Each morning this week, before you start your day, I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to ask yourself, what can I clear today to create space for what's to emerge, what's to come? Now, as you do this clearing work, I want you to be gentle with yourself. And I want you to remember what Dr. Will said yesterday about the fear is an invitation. That fear that might arise when you consider letting go is inviting you to experience it and learn something, to learn something new. It's inviting you to trust that when you clear space, something beautiful will arrive to fill it. Now, my beautiful people, our Year of Rebirth workbook has powerful exercise for identifying and releasing limited beliefs. Use it alongside this physical clearing practice to deepen your journey of letting go. And tomorrow on iWisdom Wednesday, you'll hear from Devin Gonzalez as we explore the breaking limits and building legacies. His insights on overcoming limited beliefs will beautifully complement this work of clearing space. So until then, I want you to remember that every item that you release, that every belief that you let go of creates room for something new to enter. The universe and God cannot give you a gift if your hands are already full. Have an amazing day.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love podcast. Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer.